Cheer. You guys are now listening to the Crime Pays podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Sanchez. I got my co-host with me, Young Glizzy.
Yeah.
What's going on, Glizzy?
We out here.
How you doing, man?
Living.
How's your week going?
I had an eventful week, actually.
Dude, what happened, dude?
I almost died, dude. I saw my life flash before my eyes. I learned I have quick reflex for when problems arise.
That's cool, man. Yeah. That's cool. Can you elaborate on the situation that happened or not really?
Yeah. So what happened is that, right, without giving too much detail, I was at the spot, a place where people kick it, and there was a group of people that had to get escorted out by security. And when they got escorted out by security, when they were outside, they weren't going down without a fight, dude. And they started swinging objects that were outside at all the security guards. And I step outside, right?
I saw that thing. What was he swinging, dude? Looked like a candy cane.
Yeah, so there's like these poles at this place, and they kind of like a way to get people to walk in without them jumping lines. It's a way to organize people walking inside of the building.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, dude, just swinging that thing around. And I walk outside, and the situation is already on 10. I walk outside because I hear about it from the inside, and everybody's talking about it. So I walk outside just to see what's going on. And when I walk outside, the situation's already a full fire, dude. And someone yells, "Hey, he's getting a gun," right? Uh-huh. And immediately life slows down. My heart, doom, 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 doom. And I see the guy just running to his car.
You see things moving in slow motion or no?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm going to get the
Zinni.
The Zinni, dude. Let's go.
And, I see him run to his whip, and I'm like, oh, nah. So I pull out my piece, and then I duck and I get covered.
You had the Billy Western on you?
The Billy Western, the weapon of mass destruction. And I get in guard, and this guy, all his homies start running to the car, right? They jump in the car, and you hear him peel off, right? Reversing out of the parking spot, drives up to the front quick, and then slows down. And then I see him point it, right?
Uh-huh. Pointing at who?
He's pointing in the vicinity of my direction, but there's a bunch of people there. So there's no telling who he was pointing at exactly. I'm sure it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And I point, and I'm like, don't do it. Yeah. And then he peeps me. Our eyes lock. It's like I saw him like right here, right in front of me, like if we were this close. And we make eye contact, and he just peels off into the street and then drives away, dude.
Did you have the drop on him?
Yeah, I had good.
I
had perfect. Oh,
if he would have started letting it off,
I would have probably 2.
Okay.
2. You know what I'm saying? I was very quick response, dude. So I'm glad of my
stressful, dude.
Yeah, bro. During the situation, you're moving quick and you're acting fast, but after the situation, you kind of think like, why am I here, dude? Why do I have to deal with this shit?
Dude,
we do this fucking podcast.
It's almost not even worth the paycheck, right?
Yeah, dude. But
we got to escape the hood, bro.
The Matrix.
One way out. We got to get out of this.
All this crap, dude.
But
we're trying though,
dude. I had a good idea today. Maybe you take me up on my offer.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Now think about it. My week was pretty cool. I didn't have no beef or nothing like that. No trials and tribulations.
When my week's crazy, your week's good. When your week's crazy, my week's good.
It's true, bro. It's so true. But I stayed good. I stayed sober. I didn't drink. I haven't drank for 2 weeks. Not that I have a problem with sobriety. I'm just doing it for health reasons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm working out hard. I'm dieting really good. I'm down 7 pounds, dude. I'm like at 230 pounds right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been that light.
230?
230. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. People keep on telling me, yo, you're losing weight, bro. If you keep on losing weight, you're not going to be able to kick people out of here. Yeah. I was like, yeah, well.
Do you feel stronger, though? Do you feel stronger now than any other point in your life is my real question.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can.
That's what that gym does for you,
Yeah, I did. I feel like I could I could fight, I can run, I could jump, I could do everything, dude.
I have a theory. We were talking about fasting last podcast, and I was listening to this podcast. I forgot the name of the gentleman, and he says that it's not a intellectual podcast, but he said something that I thought about. He says that we die sooner because we eat every day, and when we used to eat every 3 days, and that's why people in the Bible used to be able to live to 1,000 years.
I mean, yeah.
And then I thought about it.
I don't think if you fast, you're gonna make it to 1,000 years.
But I looked it up, dude. Right?
Yeah.
I looked it up, right? Just because of the health benefits. Obviously those people worked out every day. You were in the sun, your body was less abused and you couldn't eat every day. But it's kind of like a car. If you drive the car every day, it's going to die sooner. You know what I'm saying? And our body's like an engine. And, bro, I thought about it and I looked it up. And it has scientific, proof that it does help.
No, dude,
fasting.
Absolutely. Fasting is super healthy. You know what I'm saying? It kills off dead cells in your body.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's like a fountain of youth. You know what I'm saying? To some people, but it's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like religious people do it to get closer with God. Healthy people do it for regenerative things. Yeah. That's not good for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to eat 6 times a day to get buff. You know what I'm saying? And if I fast for 3 or 4 days, I'm going to lose hella muscle that I've been working on all year to get.
But did you see, have you looked at Fousey Tube's page?
Yeah, he looks like shit after his fast.
Yo, no, he's fucking jacked though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he was working out during his fast. He did a 30-day fast. I think that's a little too much.
Yeah, you look before the 30-day fast and after, he doesn't look well after the 30-day fast.
Yeah, he does look a little more shriveled, but he is getting really buff now. You know what I'm saying? It's a good way to reset your body.
True.
If you need to reset it also.
Yeah.
Usually when, I always fall off at the gym, and when I decide I'm going to get back into the gym, I like to do a fast.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what's up. My neighbor killed a guy, dude.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, dude, he came out on the news.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like on my phone, I see Only in Dade. And I see a shooting at the Wawa by my crib. So I'm like, oh, wow, that's right by my house, 248th. So I'm like, I'm watching the video, and I see the guy is like in a construction outfit, and his body posture looks familiar. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, that looks like my neighbor. And he's arguing with a coworker at the Wawa. He has a gun in his hand. The coworker pushes him with the gun in his hand. He goes back and he claps the guy, dude. Kills him.
Yo,
and then I was by the hospital at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm driving by the hospital and I see a helicopter hovering over me. You know what I'm saying? Landing on the ER part of the hospital. I'm like, oh shoot, look at that. And then ambulances were coming, and that was that same situation. It wasn't until the next day that I saw the video and I saw it was my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Because he took off in his truck. And the helicopter was hovering over his truck, and that's the truck I park next to every day. You know what I'm saying? He was a really nice guy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yo, you could lose your freedom in a second. Like
one decision. You know what I'm saying?
One decision took 2 lives.
Yeah.
Because he's never going to come out. He got charged with second-degree murder.
Yeah.
And he got caught in 4K.
What would be the difference between first degree, second degree? What is the difference there?
First degree unaliving is when you plan it out.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Second degree is when you weren't planning on doing it, but something happened and you did it. Like a spur of the moment. It's more sinister if you plan it out,
Yeah.
Like if you're like, yo, what time does this person get home? I'm going to go there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid of the body. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's more sinister. The punishment is worse.
Yeah, like Manson shit.
Yeah. So, it's a sad situation. I mean, from what, he used to say hi to me every day. You know what I'm saying? All the kids in the building liked him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I seen him give treats to the kids and Halloween and stuff like that.
That's why you can't pull out your gun, dude, for every situation. A lot of situations don't call for a gun, dude.
Of course.
I will never pull a piece on anybody if they don't have a piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And usually if I'm walking around with my piece, I try to avoid any confrontation at all costs. Because
one time I had to.
Had to pull your piece?
Yeah, because the guy went and grabbed a crowbar, and he was going to hit me with the crowbar.
Ah, but that's a weapon.
Yeah.
You see, that's different.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, bro, I'm not going to get hit with a crowbar either. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
But, some situations call for it, some don't, and, And you don't want to fight when you have your piece on you, because if you're not going to pull it, now you're giving the other person the advantage of being able to grab your piece.
You know how many times I've walked away and looked like a pussy because I was concealed carrying?
Yeah.
Bro, a lot of times people be like, yo, he's a bitch. I knew he was a bitch. And I'm just like, all right, bro, you got it. I'll walk away.
Yeah, but
because I'm not going to fight you because you can take it from me and something could happen. Like it's not worth it.
Yeah, you go from fighting to fighting over the weapon that's gonna kill you.
Exactly.
It's two different things. Yeah.
It's better to just walk away.
Yeah.
Dude. The best advice is don't fight ever.
You know, if I don't have my gun on me, I'm probably more likely to fight.
Yeah.
Like whenever I'm strapped, I don't. Like I just be like, no. Because so much shit could go wrong, dude. Yeah. Because you could go to jail. You won't. I mean, you could go to jail for fighting too, but you know, it's not the same.
It's a lose-lose situation. Yeah. No matter what.
Pretty much.
Even if you win the fight, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you win the fight, you might hurt your hand, you might dislocate your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? You might fuck up your knee. Afterwards. Not only that, but you don't know what's going to happen to that guy, dude. Like I said, you can punch him and his head bounces off the concrete. He dies. You're going to go to prison for that. You know what I'm saying? If you own property, they're going to sue you. You know what I'm saying? If you find out you're at fault, you know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, it's bad. You know, I have an ego myself. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tries me, it's very hard for me to swallow it. You know what I mean? But that is the best advice: is you can't win any fight. You're gonna lose.
Yeah, because, you know, at the end of the day, you have nothing to prove to anyone. Yeah. But there's been situations where sometimes I learn just a stern, like, a stern reminder to people will get people like off your back. Like I had a situation where I went to Home Depot maybe 2 weeks ago. I was making a copy of a key and I let this guy in front of me, right? He's like, hey, can I get in front of you? I got to make a copy of the key. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You know, like go in front of me. Turns out this guy is not making a copy of one key. He's making 2 copies of 5 different keys and he needs help from the fucking teller, bro. Yeah. So I learned my lesson there. Never let anyone cut me in line ever again. No. But then as I'm standing in the line at the Home Depot behind the key guy, and a gentleman walks up from the side of me. He's like a bigger stature, bald, and he's like, he taps me on my shoulder all mad, and I'm like, oh, what? You know, I'm not a man that's always aware of everything that's going on around me, you know? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, what? He's like, you don't see you're in the way? Bro, that is something, I left like a big space to the left of me just so people could get through because I understood that. And I go, bro, there's space there. And then he's like, yeah, but you don't see you're in the way? Huh? Do you see you're in the way? Right? Getting hostile. And I'm like, dude, do you want to fight? Right? Like, I was like, do you want to fight about it? Yeah. He's like, oh, you're lucky I'm with my wife because I'll kick her out. And then he moves on about his day. But sometimes I think people just need that reminder. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially someone that you probably don't deal with that because you look tough like me. Yeah, I look like a child that like if I was you, I would want to beat me up too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's true. That doesn't happen to
me. Yeah. Perks of being big, dude.
Yeah. It's true. I'm blessed in that situation. In other local news, William Levy got arrested today. If you guys don't know who William Levy is, ask your mom. She knows who he is. Ask your wife. She knows who he is. As I'm saying. Even in his drunk face and mugshot, I heard a girl go, with his fine ass. He looks like shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, my mom is always, like, talking about him all the time, how good he looks and everything. That shit makes me mad, bro.
It's that stardom. It just makes you glow more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Even my girl has commented on him before, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't get me hot like when my mom does it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My mom can make me jealous. You know, my girl, not so much.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know what I mean? But basically, he was at an Argentinian steakhouse in Broward, and he got wasted, and he was being drunk and disorderly. They asked him to leave. He didn't leave, and he got arrested. Bro, take it from me, a lifelong bouncer. If they ask you to leave, leave peacefully. That's the best solution. Leave. If you don't leave, you're going to get escorted out. If they have security, you are guaranteed to lose that fight.
Yeah, that's facts.
If you fight them, they're going to team up on you. They're going to embarrass you. They're going to put your head through the wall. Then they're going to restrain you. They're going to call the cops. You're still going to get arrested. It's going to go bad for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, when you're drunk, that, like, all of that, you just forget about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a crazy phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like, you get drunk and you could wake up in a cell.
Yeah.
Which is what happened to him.
It's true. I mean, I've never been kicked out of a place in my whole life, dude. You know,
I have not either. I have.
And if
I
I
have yet to
did,
be kicked out.
I would know. Yo, you have to leave. No problem. Sorry, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the best. That's the best way to get through it.
I've never been shit faced in public either.
Yeah.
It's not something I do often.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, he got like a $50 bond. There was like a $500 bond. He got like $50. That tape is gonna come out. It's gonna hit TMZ. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully for his career, he wasn't wilding out too much because that's going to affect him.
For sure.
That's going to affect him in the future. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, UFC Miami was this weekend. Did you catch the fights?
No, I missed it, dude.
Dude, everybody I bet on, but okay, everybody I picked lost.
And that sucks.
I was going to bet. But
Did you bet on the whole lineup?
I didn't. Because I was just like, I'm not going to bet. But everybody that I wanted to win, that I thought was going to win, lost. You know what I mean?
That is crazy.
Yeah, bro. UFC is unpredictable, bro. And you know what it is that when you, like, follow the UFC, you become fans of the fighters, and then you pick them because you like them. And you know what I'm saying? That's not how you bet on sports. You don't bet with your heart, right? You got to bet with your brain. So Bryce Mitchell fought Gene Silva. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Mitchell is like far right conservative. You know what I'm saying? He's always talking. He thinks the earth is flat. You know, he talks bad about, you know, the little hat people.
Yeah.
He, you know what I'm saying? He's just a wild dude when it comes to that.
That's something I like about UFC, dude. They let people be themselves.
Yeah. Well, Dana White is allegedly going to step down.
That was
He's not going to be part of the UFC no more. Yeah. And he's the one who kind of lets people be who they want to be.
Yeah, dude, that kind of sucks, dude.
Yeah, when the new administration gets in, I'm pretty sure they're going to chop the nuts off the fighters and I'll let them talk about things.
Yeah, but then they'll just lose all the money. Someone else will come up because you saw Aiden Ross has his own little fighting thing going on now.
Yeah, but it's not real.
Hey, dude, it's pretty interesting.
It's celebrity boxing.
Nah, dude, he has people that you don't really know about on there. Like, and he's doing it consistently. Like, I think it could become something big. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the guy Bryce Mitchell fought is Gene Silva. He said that he was a demon because he does this like victory thing where he clinches up against the fence with his arms and feet like a demon, and he screeches. Yeah. And then Bryce Mitchell said he was having demonic nightmares about the guy, that he asked for everybody for prayers. He hasn't been able to sleep right and all this shit. And, you know, Gene Silva, he looked like a champion out there. You know what I'm saying? He's shorter than Bryce, but he was jacked. He was fast. All his swings, all his punches were like home run punches that he didn't land, but if he did land, it would have been bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bryce had some good things in the beginning. He was landing a lot of leg kicks that were fucking up Gene Silva's legs. But at the end, Gene Silva was just too strong, too fast, too vicious for him. Ended up submitting him and putting him unconscious. It was bad. When he let him go, his eyes were rolling behind his head. He was asleep.
Yeah, zombied.
Yeah, he was asleep. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bryce. He did his best, you know what I'm saying? But just Gene Silva was too much for him. Dominic Reyes scored a first-round knockout against Nikita Krylov. You know, in the 2 minutes, 24 seconds into the first round, as soon as he knocked dude out, he jumped over the cage and said hi to Trump. That was dope. Trump was there with everybody. Looked like the whole cabinet was there. I saw Tulsi Gabbard. I saw Marco Rubio. I saw the vice president. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was there. I saw Shaq. Shaq was showing Trump a lot of love.
Isn't that awesome? When is the last president we had that did something like that? I'm curious, for real.
I know Kamala went to the Meg Thee Stallion concert.
Yeah, but when have we had we had like a president engage in American sports? You know what I'm saying? Because UFC is an American sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
On the main card, we had Alexander Volkanovski. He defeated Diego Lopez by decision. It was a great fight. If you guys watched it, you know what I'm saying, leave a like and a comment. I thought Volkanovski was going to lose that fight and have to retire, but he looked like the Volkanovski of old. You know what I'm saying? He was a smaller guy, but he outworked the other dude. He circled him. He used a lot of movement, ran away from the guy. A lot of people said he was running, But it was strategic, dude. The guy was a knockout artist and just putting the pressure, trying to knock him out, and he was still winning the exchanges. So Volk is back. Shout out to Alexander Volkanovski. I like to see him get the win. Paddy Pimblett defeated Michael Chandler. You know what I'm saying? And that was pretty good, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure I don't know if Michael Chandler called out Conor McGregor after the fight, because Chandler, even win or lose, he always calls out Conor McGregor. He's already lost like 5 fights, and he still calls out Conor McGregor afterwards.
That's crazy.
Conor's not coming back, dude. He's drinking whiskey on yachts, getting BJs.
Yeah, smoking cigars, watching people bare-knuckle fight on the sideline, yelling at them.
Yeah. That bare knuckle fighting is good, bro. I like watching it. It's fun.
I haven't gotten to really get into it yet. Like, I didn't learn any of the fighters yet, but
yeah,
I'm sure it's gonna go far. You know, UFC's getting a lot more competition lately.
Yeah, especially from all those Dagestani guys who come from the Muslim countries.
Mm-hmm.
They're great wrestlers. They're super strong.
Yeah.
But Paddy Pimblett's a star. So is Gene Silva. I look forward to watching their careers progress and do their thing. Moving on, let's move on to politics. What's up with this dude that allegedly the country sent him back by accident? What's the dude's name?
Dude.
Kilmar Abrego.
Dude, he don't belong here, dude. He's Salvadorian.
Dude, the fake news says that he was an American citizen and they sent him back by accident.
Don't you love how they do that just to get people all worked up?
Yeah, that's fake news, bro.
Someone the other day told me I was going to get deported.
Yeah, they always say that.
Yeah. I'm going to get deported, dude. I was born here for sure. I'm second generation, not even first generation.
Yeah, so you know the dude's story?
Refresher.
All right, so basically the first law he broke is that he came into the country illegally.
Take him out.
Liberals don't understand that this is a federal crime.
Breaking the law.
You know what I'm saying? The first thing he does, he comes in, right? He gets arrested at a Home Depot parking lot, right?
Because he's a criminal.
He is.
Broke the law, dude.
He's wearing Chicago Bulls gear, which is synonymous with a gang. I'm not going to say their name, whatever. But it's synonymous with that gang. Now, an informant had told the cops that he is an active gang member. That is documented, that there's a statement on it. That's what he is. So he gets arrested. He gets put in detention, right? His wife files paperwork to get him out. He gets out, and he starts fighting the deportation, right? Boom, boom, boom. He has a kid with his girl. You know what I'm saying? And the judge grants him a court date. You know what I mean? Now, ICE comes and says, okay, this dude is an illegal alien. He is a gang member because he filed for political asylum because allegedly he told on some gang members in El Salvador they were going to kill him, so he came over here to escape, right? Because he cooperated with the El Salvadorian government to put some gang members in jail. So he came over here because they were going to kill him. So he filed political asylum from that. Boom. They find out who he is. They send him back, right? Now, he never got his citizenship. He was not an American. To today, he's not an American citizen.
He's not an American citizen.
He's an El Salvadorian citizen.
Facts.
They put him. They ship him back. The judge says, no, you guys have to bring him back. Court order. Sign. Boom. The Supreme Court says...
Overstepping her boundaries.
The Supreme Court comes back and says that judges don't have the right to make policy, right? The El Salvadorian president says, I'm not returning one of my citizens to the country. He's not an American citizen. He is an El Salvadorian citizen. We're not sending him back.
Yeah.
Right now, he's currently being held in El Salvadorian jail.
Yeah. And Trump was having a meeting with the El Salvadorian president, I believe.
I saw that.
And one of the reporters, CNN, she's like, hey, if they don't want him and they want to send him back, would you take him back? And Trump said yes, right there in front of this El Salvadorian president. Dude, right then and there, the El Salvadorian president could have put Trump in a corner and been like, all right, I want to send that guy back. Mm-hmm. But he didn't because he don't want to, dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And who are we to go and invade another country and kidnap their citizens? But the Dems, they're so crazy. They're like, yeah, that's what we got to do. Yeah. We got to break this law for the one person who happens to be an MS-13 gang member, and he's not a citizen, and we got to break the law for him and possibly create enemies for ourselves, for one man. You know what I'm saying? And, I feel for his wife and his baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I understand it. But, you know, she shouldn't have got pregnant by an immigrant. I was just
well, yeah. I mean, during that meeting, Bukele said some cool things, bro. He's, you know, they act like the fake news asked him, yo, how do you feel about like, you know, the mass incarceration you got going on in your country? Because this dude built like mega prisons.
Yeah.
And he jailed all the criminals in the country. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, yo, like there's human rights violations going on in your prison. Like, how do you feel about the mass incarceration you're doing to your country? And he goes, I don't see it as a mass incarceration. I see it as a mass liberation for the people of my country, because my country was the #1 murder capital in the whole world. More people were getting killed in El Salvador than anywhere because of the gang violence, right? Brutally. We're not talking about drive-bys here. We're talking about machete, decapitations, stabbings, kidnappings, human trafficking. Like, these guys were doing the worst. You know what I mean? So he goes, now my people, the good people of the country are free. They could walk around. They could go to the park. They could do this. They could do that. And Trump was like, oh, I like that. I like what you said. It wasn't a mass incarceration. It was a mass liberation.
Mass liberation. Yeah, but the Dems want criminals to walk on the street, dude. Yeah. So they could grape your sisters, mothers, and they want immigrants, illegal immigrants, you know, because we like good immigrants. We don't want illegal immigrants. We want you to come into this country the proper way. But they want to let people in with no paper, no documentation. That way they could get away with murder clean.
And they get free votes.
Free votes. What was it? The president of El Salvador said how we had sent one person back. He didn't give the prisoner's name. And he said how they interviewed him and how he got arrested here in the United States for shooting a cop and was let go, was released. That's and right. Then now Trump came in. Trump deported him. And they put him in a prison over there, and the El Salvadorian president had him interviewed. And he said that.
What did he say?
That how he shot a cop,
okay,
but he didn't kill him, and he feels like he should be free. And we had let him go over here.
Yeah. Now, the fake news asked Trump, how does he feel about sending American citizens to those prisons in El Salvador? And Trump said that he would be okay with sending American citizens over there if they were like homegrown terrorists, right? And this is not nothing new. This has been going on since Biden, Obama.
Yeah, bro.
You know, you guys heard of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba? That is a prison in Cuba that they house terrorists, war criminals that are American citizens. They house them over there. So it's not nothing new. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the fake news runs with narratives, you know? And they lie to everybody, and they say, "Oh, Trump's gonna send U.S. citizens over there." Yeah, he's gonna send U.S. citizens over there, but if they are like,
they didn't just do that. They took out the terrorist part, and the thing they put. Look, we were talking to my girl earlier, and she thought, from what the liberal media showed her,
she
that
thought
they were sending homegrown citizens.
Thought the first guy we were talking about, she thought he was a citizen.
Yeah,
and so did my boss at work. He thought that guy was a citizen. I had to show them, like, yo, he's not a citizen.
Yeah,
he's a citizen of El Salvador. He's never been an American citizen.
Yeah. But you know, some people just rather stay ignorant.
It's the brainwash. It's not their fault, bro. It's if you see it on the news, if you see it on your TikTok, you believe it. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're twisting and manipulating and lying.
Bro, there has to be a law against that shit. Like for the media to be able to cap so blatantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got a new movie coming out, dude, and I think woke Hollywood is officially dying. You know what I'm saying? Snow White was a big flop. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Ready?
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, we got woke Hollywood is officially dead. Disney's Snow White had a budget of $270 million and sold $5 million in pre-sales. Angel Studios, which they make religious movies, Christian movies, Catholic movies.
Yeah, they're fire.
Yeah. They're coming out with a new movie called The King of Kings. It had a budget of $5 million, not versus Snow White's $270 million. All right,
and
they have $8 million in pre-sales already.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The movie looks dope. You guys check it out. It's an animated movie. You know what I'm saying? Where this kid goes to like a play. It looks like he wants to be like King Arthur. Then somebody shows him the real King of Kings, and then it kind of goes back and forth from Jesus' time to his time. It looks really good. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna support it. Yeah. Jesus is making a comeback in this country strong.
I think so.
Yeah,
I feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. So you guys go ahead and check that out, dude.
Yeah. You know, and I've been thinking, dude, like you sent me a post on Instagram the other day, and I'm almost changing the subject, but I'm just gonna bring it up because it has some relevancy. And you had told me, well, the reel you sent me said how a lot of people say they're Christian but don't practice the scripture, dude. You know what I'm saying? And dude, that shit had me thinking, dude, we gotta start I gotta start practicing the scripture because you practiced it for.
Yeah. You got to read it, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, you believe in Jesus, you accept him as your Lord and Savior, right? But you don't read the word of, you don't read it. You watch movies or you go to your Instagram thing, which that helps. You know what I'm saying? Algorithms help bring you closer to the things that you're interested in.
Yeah.
But that one-on-one relationship that you want with God, it comes through the script. It comes through the book, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's the word of God. You know what I'm saying? And whatever you're going through in life, you read the book and it will relate to whatever you're going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you miss out on that when you don't read. You know what I mean? And then when you're around non-believers and they start quizzing you or they start debating you on it, if you don't know the book, then how could you defend yourself? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I feel like. Non-believers don't read the books. Like, I know so many people that are atheists, and I'm like, well, you read the Bible before? And they're like, no. I'm like,
or they say, yeah, because I grew up in the church, and we used to go every Sunday and things like that. But when you're a kid, it's not the same as when you're a man, right? When you're a man, your brain is fully developed. You know what I'm saying? You have stronger convictions. You've been through a lot of things already in your life, and the scriptures hit you different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when I was young, you know, not to be disrespectful or anything, but when I was young, I didn't give a fuck about going to church. I just wanted to go for the coffee. You know what I'm saying? But that was me young. Like, you know, I don't understand or comprehend the importance of it.
Yeah.
In any which way.
Oh, get your body in the gym, get your head in the good book, and you're gonna be on the right track. Dude.
Oh yeah, that's the key to being a great man, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, you want to be a conservative? If today's Republican is a man who gets married, has a child, doesn't abort the baby, he has Christian values, and he goes to the gym. Yeah. And then to the rest of the world, you're a bigot. But that's the key, dude. That success right there turns you into a super bigot, dude.
All right, bro. That's it. We're out of time, yo. We appreciate you guys watching. Hit the like, comment, subscribe. You got any negative comments, send them over to Young Glizzy. He's the one who reads them. And that's it. We appreciate you guys. This was the Crime Pays Podcast. Chill.
Peace.